As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize.
Well,
conversation. Yeah, to start, could you share a little bit of your background as teaching in English?
Okay, I have been an English teacher for more than 20 years. Maybe 22, I think. 22 this year in September at the university. I just worked outside the university for 1 year when I started working. I didn't have my degree at the time. When I got my degree, I started working at the university, and I have been mainly teaching at Campus Miraflores. Okay, so that's my environment. I normally teach engineering students and kind of technical vocabulary, and I really love it. I really like that. Yeah, 20 years. I normally have like 20 hours during the week. That means 4 different courses, 4 different lessons that I have to teach. Normally my classes are like 30 students, 40 sometimes.
That's a lot.
If I'm lucky, I have like 20. Yeah, once maybe like 15 years ago, I had like a class where I had like 69 students. 69 students, yes. Okay, but I prefer large classes instead of small groups.
Nice.
Because you have different types of interactions with the students. Sometimes it gets messy, okay? But I prefer that kind of class where students are active and they're speaking and they're doing different things, instead of small groups where they're like shy and they don't tend to talk. No, they don't tend to talk a lot. Okay, they like feel like maybe scared. So I prefer large groups. Anyways.
So, my classmate here, Anton, is going to ask you some questions.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is what inspired you to become a teacher?
I don't think if I had a kind of inspiration, but I just liked English. When I was in school, in high school, I studied at Liceo Comercial. Okay, so I was supposed to have a diploma or something. I am also secretary. So I just remember that when I was in high school or being a little girl, I liked English. Again, my father used to listen to English music, okay, like Western things and lots of old rock, okay, in English. And then I think that's the way my liking for the English language started. Okay, but not thinking of becoming a teacher. You know. Then when I was in high school, I remember having one very good teacher. Okay, and I think I learned a lot with her. So I think I also thought of using English to travel. Maybe that's the main idea that I had in mind. But I don't think I had an inspiration like to become a teacher. And then things, okay, took me to the teaching area.
Okay, now related to students, how do you keep your students encouraged to participate in your class?
Sometimes that's very difficult. That's one of the most difficult things that you have to face. I think having a good relation with the students is very important. I'm not talking about like being friends, okay, but being friendly. Okay, being close to them, knowing their names, it's very important. Okay, I know lots of teachers that never learn their students' names, okay, and that makes the relationship like easier in the classroom. So you talk directly to them, you go to where they are sitting, you sit with them, okay, you interact with the classrooms with them, and I think that's maybe one of the most important things, so that I get them to interact in the class.
What strategies do you use to create an inclusive and diverse environment in the classroom?
I don't think that when I plan the classes, I think of the word strategies. I think of activities that after knowing my students, okay, I know that they're probably going to work. Sometimes they don't, okay, but normally I try to use things like, well, of course, sometimes they work with worksheets, with handouts, okay, so they practice some structures, but we also use, I don't know, videos, okay, because some of them like watching things and participating and giving their opinions, or listening to music. They just like listening to music that's related to them. Games sometimes. I don't know, word games and things like that, or things they have to move, they participate actively in the classroom. I think those are the things that they like doing in the class. Some of the activities, I think.
Could you share a memorable success, maybe? Success story or challenge you have faced in the past, like in your teaching career? Please, could you tell us how you have dealt with it?
I can think of one now. Success. Challenge, maybe. And maybe it's a challenge when you have two groups of the same major. For instance, I teach industrial engineers, and I have two groups, okay, with the same number of students, different days, and we have to plan the same activities for both groups, but sometimes the activities work with one group,
And the other
and the other, no, and that's a total fail, okay? So you have to think quickly how to solve that. You have to think of something, maybe you stop the activity and explain that it's not working and we're going to do something different, or, yeah, that's I think, I don't know if it's a favor, maybe a challenge. It's difficult to solve that in the moment. Yeah, it's very difficult, and that happens a lot when you have two like parallel groups, okay, and you know them. You know that, and one group is, I don't know, very lively. They are very eager to practice and participate and speak and do all the activities, and the other group is just shy. Okay, you don't get them to speak. It's very difficult. But sometimes activities work for both. Okay, and sometimes just don't. Okay, and then you feel like a little bit frustrated when you finish your class, and then you go thinking, okay, what could I have changed? Okay, but I think that but and also like maybe success when you bring games to the classroom. Okay, they have to move and they have to run or something like that, or they have to sing. That's something that they really enjoy a lot.
It's more fun having classes like that.
Of course,
And I
it's
think
more fun.
personally,
But there are also some students that don't like participating. You always have students that they like sit isolated at the back of the classroom, and it's difficult to have them participate, okay, or work with a group. Yeah, I usually use like roulettes or things like that, or name pickers that I get from the web, and so the groups rotate in the classroom, and sometimes they just don't want to, they go to the group. Nobody has ever said, no, miss, I don't want to participate, but you can see that in the faces. Yeah, they are like, okay, go ahead. But they do it. Okay.
Okay, this is our last question. And when you have a conflict at work, what are your techniques to resolve it?
it's like maybe like
A conflict with students?
no, I think it's related to the fourth question. So, but we just talked about it, like quick thinking.
Yes, but sometimes quick thinking doesn't
Doesn't
really work.
work.
No. Yeah, we have to speak things, okay, try to solve them, find solutions. I don't think, well, I have been here for many years, maybe once or twice I have had some like arguments maybe with students, okay, but nothing really difficult to solve, not a big deal, nothing, okay, no, everything, you can speak about everything or anything with students. Yeah, they tend to understand maybe your point of view. Sometimes they think something is not fair, for example. That's maybe one thing that you will have to face. Okay, when you hand them their tests after being corrected and they think it's not fair, then you have to explain why they got that score, or they compare their test with other students' tests and they tend to think, no, you're not fair, things like that. Then you have to explain, okay, come to an agreement, or maybe you made a mistake and you have to give them an opportunity. Yeah, that's the way, just speaking. You need to solve problems. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult. Yeah, but I don't think I haven't had a really big problem to solve in all these years. That's what I think. Maybe. I think
That's
right.
nice to hear.
Yes, that's, well, you always try to do your best, okay? I think you always can do better, okay? You learn from classmates, you learn from your colleagues, you learn from your colleagues, you also learn from students, because when you're in class with them, you can see if they enjoy an activity or they just don't like it. So for next class, you prepare something different. Yeah, but it takes some years also to adapt to different situations, to solve things in the moment. Yeah, but that's a thing that you have to learn. I think that's a challenge. Yes. Okay, you have to be ready, and you have to trust also your knowledge. You have to trust that you're trying to do things correctly and trying to help students and get them learn something maybe that they haven't learned before. Yeah, experience gives you some tools.
I think that's all.
Okay.
So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And yeah, it was nice to meet you.
Good. Okay. Thank you, girls.